The Analects is complicated. As anyone who's read it will try to tell you, it's mysterious, ambiguous, sometimes contradictory, and it will surely frustrate those who are looking for neatly packed, clear logic. But perhaps this isn't a negative. In preparation for this video, I also watched a couple lectures on the Analects by Robert-Andre Lafleur, and it seemed like he was trying to convey that the Analects is a text that isn't meant to be dryly read, but rather something to be engaged with. The ambiguity you get from these passages are meant to be pondered, discussed, experimented, and played with, for lack of a better word. That's why we're only going over 3 lessons from the Analects in this video, because we're going to play around with each of these ideas, and I hope you join me as well. I'm using the DC Lau translation, but you could easily find a copy online. Hopefully there'll be a lot of comments below playing around with these ideas with me. And without further ado, let's get into it. Hello and welcome to Philosophy Toons. And guys, are you ready to become gentlemen? You see, throughout the text, Confucius makes references to a type of character that he holds in high regard, and that is the gentleman. Obviously, in today's world, we could be gender neutral about it. Wait, is there even a word like gentlewoman? I don't know, sounds like some country club sounding word, but so does gentleman too, I guess. But yeah, we're gonna be looking over for insights from Confucius's Analects that we can apply to our lives and attempt to become gentlemen. So let's start off with insight number 1. Wait, you guys hear that? Aw man, it sounds like the infamous golden rule is making an appearance here. For those who are out of the loop, maybe still messing around with the silver rule, the golden rule can be found across different cultures and basically says that you should treat others the way you want to be treated. Here it is appearing in the Analects itself. Zekung asked, "Is there a single word which can be a guide to conduct throughout one's life?" The master said, "It is perhaps the word shu. Do not impose on others what you yourself do not desire." Now, like I mentioned in the intro, we're actually going to play around with this idea a bit and think about it. I've personally used this method of thinking in my own life and it's been pretty effective. If I'm ever in a situation to gain something, I ask what the negative consequences are, and if they affect someone, I consider if I'd really want that done to me. So I was at this party once, right, and this girl who had a boyfriend was trying to flirt with me, and he was legit in the other room, which just, you know what, not important. The point is that I'm thinking, yo, I'd be pretty pissed if I was in the dude's position. So I ended up rejecting her, and me and her man started playing Mario Kart instead. Now, what would the world look like if we all just took a step back when we find ourselves in those situations and ask ourselves, would I want this imposed on me as well? Well, there is a problem here. People differ as to what they want done to them. Like, what if we have a masochist who likes getting beaten up? We really just gonna be okay with him going into a retirement home and throwing fists just because he'd want it done to him? How would the golden rule work with someone like that? I mean, overall, I'm a big fan of the golden rule. It's clear and easy to implement. But there are these exceptions that stick out like a sore thumb. How significant are these exceptions to your thoughts on the golden rule? Is there a way to maybe harmonize those exceptions into the golden rule? Maybe you'd like to modify the rule slightly to be more inclusive. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm sure we'll encounter the golden rule in further videos. So for right now, let's look at another insight. Now I know what you're thinking. Wow, is this really some profound wisdom here? Tell the truth? Yo, I remember when my granny read me about the boy who cried wolf. I don't need Confucius to tell me what I already know. Well, there might be more to it. As always, let's start by looking at the text. If in word you are conscientious and trustworthy, and indeed single-minded and reverent, then even in the lands of the barbarians you will go forward without obstruction. So there are many passages in the text emphasizing honesty and being trustworthy. But although it's clear that Confucius wants us to be trustworthy, it's sometimes difficult to find a clear and simple why to all this. Well, in our own lives, we know the value of honesty through the boy who cried wolf story. Being trustworthy in your word is going to give your word more weight and power. I knew this guy that would tell outrageous stories where he's involved in all these crazy, Uncharted-like, life-threatening adventures. And at a certain point it's like, dude, you're either the most interesting person in the world, or you're just bullshitting. And after that realization, his stories, although pretty extravagant, just fell flat and disappointing. Contrast that with a true story, which may not be as dramatic, but nonetheless holds power simply in the fact that it's true. There's a lot of these storytime animator YouTubers, and one guy, I'm not gonna name names here, revealed that his stories were works of fiction. And while they're interesting to listen to, the crazy things that happen just come across as cringy rather than, wow, I can't believe that actually happened. Now coming back to focus here, is it always right to tell the truth though? Confucius tells one story of a meeting where basically he says that an upright son would not report his father if he stole a goat. I mean, it's not lying per se, but it's definitely in the realm of deception to cover for your dad and not turn him in. Does this mean that family concerns are more important than being trustworthy? I think about that famous Immanuel Kant example where the axe murderer comes to your house and asks where your family is. I mean, I would feel inclined to lie and save their lives. I don't know about you guys. So what do you think? Is lying justified if it's in the service of your family? What about friends? What about strangers? Maybe the scale of the lie matters. Another note on honesty is that it gets in the way of redemption and forgiveness. Now me, I try to be a forgiving person. I think people are dynamic and change, and second chances only conforms to that. But trust is a delicate thing. A small little lie can take root in your mind and totally infect the way you may or may not trust a person. It's like cheating, where some people are willing to forgive their partner who cheats on them, but that trust that was there pre-cheating is gone and can probably never come back. What do you think? Does dishonesty get in the way of forgiveness and second chances, or can it be brushed aside? And with that, we move to the last insight for this video. Okay, wait. Now I know some hardcore Confucian scholars are gonna get pissed at me for that little title. And while I agree that the Analects talks a lot about society and social relations, there are passages I see that talk about how we as individuals fit into those relationships. Here, just listen to the quote first and tell me what you think. The master said, "Do not worry because you have no official position. Worry about your qualifications. Do not worry because no one appreciates your abilities. Seek to be worthy of appreciation." So look, yes, Confucius is undoubtedly concerned with society, undeniably. But you're reading this book as an individual, unless you've got some weird hive mind thing going on. And as an individual, you do participate in society. The question then is, in what way can society benefit by your inclusion? Well, you could take the position of just criticizing society, being pissed at everyone else for not appreciating your abilities, as the quote says. Or, you could see society's appreciation as a goal and work towards it. And usually gaining society's appreciation is a result of doing a good deed. I mean, I haven't really been congratulated for eating ice cream today, and why should I? Eating ice cream isn't some nice, generous act. Heck, it isn't even some challenge to be overcome. Unless you're eating this junk. It's Haagen-Dazs all the way in this household. It sounds kinda stoic in a way. You concern yourself with society due to virtue, but you turn your attention toward yourself and what you can control in your life to help that society. It's hard to think of a counterpoint for this. Maybe some people can disagree with the distinction being made between working on society and working on yourself. Maybe the two are more related than we think. I mean, maybe getting involved in worldly affairs is gonna change you as a person in a good way. Is this distinction between working on yourself and working on society really so strong? Comment below your thoughts. And with that, we reach the end of the video. Again, highly recommend you play with the text, as mentioned earlier, by commenting below and starting some discussion. And we only went over 3 insights. There's a lot more goodies in this book, so let me know if you enjoyed this video and I might make a part 2. If you did enjoy it, then like, subscribe, and hit the bell. And with that, I wish you all a beautiful rest of your day.